What I'm going to speak about today is grounded around this topic. If you hold on to God, you lose Him. If you don't hold on to God, you lose yourself. What does it mean? It's not so deep, but it's a conversation that is worth looking at. And there's a reason why this is important to looking at. Many of us, we hold on to God. We want to actually hold on to God, but then we don't know what it means to hold on to God. The middle path of abiding. Good point. Good point. You're all mentioning good points. They're all good points. There is no point that is not a good point. All what you guys are saying are all good points. If you let go of God altogether, you risk losing your sense of purpose, direction, or connection to. Yes, good point. Good point. Good point. If you hold on to God, you lose Him. If you don't hold on to God, you lose yourself. If you hold on to philosophy, you lose the philosophy. If you don't hold on to the philosophy, you lose yourself. You see, this statement can be looked and can be turned in different ways. I want you to take your pen and take your paper, and I want you to write down. You see, this word, this statement, it can be looked at from different angles. If you hold on to the scriptures, you lose the scriptures. If you don't hold on to the scriptures, you lose yourself. If you hold on to the teacher, you lose the teacher. If you don't hold on to the teacher, you lose yourself. What does this mean? It is a very important factor that is worth examining. But before we do that, a simple breathing. Okay. Thank you for your patience. So the conversation is, if you hold on to God, you lose Him. If you don't hold on to God, you lose yourself. Randomizer did give a very good point in his understanding of it, which is very good. But there is something that is very important that I want you all to look at. In the course of human, if you clasp tightly to your idea of God, control, you might miss the truth. Yes, Kelly Price. Good point, good point, good point, very good point. I'm happy you guys are able to really think. I'm happy. The point is, when you hold on to God, you lose Him. But when you don't hold on to Him, you lose yourself. When God becomes an idea, the idea then becomes that which we use in navigating our life. But in that process of using God as an idea, God no longer becomes omnipotent. He no longer becomes universal. He no longer becomes God anymore. He becomes only an idea. And hence, when you hold on to God, you lose Him. Because that which you are trying to hold on to is an idea. And many of us, we are very caught up in this circumstance whereby we don't hold on to God for what, the divine represents. We hold on to Him for the idea it represents to us. Now, in relevant of whatever religion you follow, in relevance of whatever belief you choose to follow, whether you're an atheist or not an atheist, whether you're a theist or not a theist, when you hold on to an idea, you lose that idea, because now that idea now start becoming your sense of identity. And in that process, you start limiting the importance. And that is why the ancient says, when you hold on to God, you lose Him. But you still need to hold on to Him, else you will start losing yourself. For an idea is important to help you know how to be a moral human being. But now when you start identifying strongly with that idea, you start becoming negative towards others. For when others are not in alignment with your idea, when others are not in alignment with your idea, you start fighting people. And this war of idea understanding is a war that has been going on for so many years. It's a war, an intellectual war, a subtle war, that even after you are dead, it will be continued by your own children and the children that are born from your own lineage and their own lineage and their own lineage and their own lineage, on and on and on and on and on. The war of idea. My idea is better than yours, but we forget the essence of an idea. An idea is simply meant to give you understanding. But now when you take that understanding as that which is factual and that with of others are not factual, you become limited. Thank you very much, randomizer. And that is the meaning of the word. If you hold on to God, you lose yourself. Not that you lose yourself in the bliss. No one loses themselves in the bliss of God. They lose themselves in the bliss of the idea that they already have within themselves. And because you lose yourself to the bliss of the idea that you already have within yourself, then life starts becoming difficult. Life start becoming difficult, for then you are not able to see the divine everywhere. You are not able to see the divine in everything. You become so narrow-minded, one-pointed vision, that anything that does not resemble the idea that you have about the divine becomes that which you want to fight against. And that is why the ancients and all philosophers of age all teachers that have ever taught always say to you, take the instruction, don't carry the book. Do you understand what that means? Take the instruction, take the essence, don't carry the book. But many of us, we carry the book because we now make the book our identity. We make the book our life. But the book is not your life. It is an instruction, which is the essence. But when you don't grasp the essence out of it, then everything becomes chaotic. Everything becomes ununderstandable. So, to hold on to the idea of God, or to hold on to God, you start losing Him because the vision, the understanding, start putting you in a sense where you start becoming judgmental of people. And hence, when you look at people that worship God or, believe that they worship God, so long as you worship God as an idea, you will always believe that others form or other people that are worshiping God are not to your level, and your level is more better than theirs. Are you understanding my point? So long as you worship God as an idea and you cannot see beyond that idea, you become naturally inimical towards people. Even if you don't say it out or you keep it to yourself, but you naturally become an enemy of everybody. And Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, the man that does his activity without, action in inaction, a man that does action that is also in inaction, is a person. Basically, when we hear this statement, we'll be like, okay, what does it really mean? A lot of people have heard that word, action in inaction. It simply means doing the duty, but not getting carried or thinking that the duty is you, but just doing it. And in the process where you are able to do it, you become a friend to everybody. No one is your enemy and no one is your friend. Everybody naturally respects you and you naturally respect everybody. It is also the same in your own family. When your duty becomes a chore, then in every chore that you do, you will always feel unsatisfied. But when it becomes that which you are doing, it's not about expecting. A lot of people will believe that, the reason why you are not able to do anything is because you are expecting. It's not about the expectation. Expectation is a natural reward for what you do. But when you start doing the duty and you start making or shaping your identity around the duty now becomes a burden. Do you understand? The same way also, when you hold on to God, you lose Him. Because when you start holding on to the idea of God, that my idea of God is that which is more better, then that start becoming a burden. Then you don't really become a lover of everyone in the universe. You become a lover of people that are in alignment with your idea. And anyone that is not in alignment with your idea, you need to cut them off. You see them as a threat. You see them as, unintelligent. You see them as people that don't know God like you know God. And this is where it is important that you, as an individual, you must start sitting down with yourself For when you don't sit down with yourself, the shouting and the noise of people becomes a distraction to you. Have you walked down the road and when you see everyone in their way of worshiping God, do you really ask, are they worshiping God or they are worshiping an idea? Does a man know God or he knows an idea? The idea is important because it helps you to live, to guide you. It becomes like a rule book to guide you. Just like when you are driving on the road, there's a reason why there is a white line on the road. The white line is an instruction. Do not cross over this part so as not to create accident. But when you don't follow the white line and you just want to drive any part of the road, you become a nuisance. You create disturbance. An accident happens. The essence of holding on to God is to help you do what? Follow the rule of the road. But now, when you hold on tightly to that rule of the road, everyone now becomes an irritant to you. You start becoming irritated by everyone. Just like when you drive. Many of you are drivers, and some of you, you practically walk past the road every day. You walk past the road, but you don't carry the road in your head. And I have done this sometimes. I think last year, I was driving. It is a confession. I was driving. And while driving, I was on the path of the road. And there was a driver that was coming from the other side. And, it's a one-way road. And because it's a one-way road, when a driver is coming, actually it's not a one-way, but it's a narrow road. It's not a one-way, it's a narrow road. And there are cars that are parked on different parts of the road. So when a driver is coming, your duty is to stop one side so that the other driver, can pass. So what happened that day was that I was driving and I was very close to, overtaking the car that was parked on the road. And there was a driver that was coming. But just the moment he saw me, he accelerated his own vehicle. Normally, he's supposed to stop to allow me to pass. But the moment he saw me, he accelerated his own car because he wants to pass before me. So what I did was I stopped my car there and I refused to move. And he also stopped. He also stopped in the front of me. And he also now refuses to move. Now this here is the ego of many drivers. I am not gonna say that I have not done that. I have done that most often. It is the ego of many drivers. It is called the driver ego. So he refused to move, and I also refused to move. And what he did next was to switch off his vehicle, and I also switched off my vehicle. He started shouting and talking, and I stayed there. I stayed there. My wife was in the vehicle. My two sons were in the vehicle with me. But I stayed there. I refused to move. And this fellow came out of his car and says, "Who owns priority?" That statement, it stayed with me. Who owns priority? And this is part of the words when one is driving. When you're driving in a road that is narrow, there's what is called priority. The oncoming vehicle or the ongoing vehicle, the vehicle that is coming forward or the vehicle that is going, which one owns the road priority? And hence one needs to naturally give way for the other one. So in my point, I was right because I was already leaving that part, but seeing me, he accelerated. So I said I owned priority, and I stayed there. He also stayed there. Now there were traffics. There were also other vehicles that were coming from his path, and luckily for me, there was no vehicle that was coming on my side. So I stayed, and the vehicles behind. So it started becoming a traffic, and they were ping, 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 and he refuses to go. Now, after seeing all the honking, I decided to shift, to reverse my vehicle and back, and he speed away. When he sped away, he didn't slow down. He speed, boom. You see, when you are driving, and especially when someone offends you when you're driving, there's a natural ego. And one of the way you get insulted as a driver is that someone overtaking you and speeding fast. It creates an adrenaline rush in everyone that is a driver. And he felt insulted. But I didn't go around chasing him because it's not my way. So I just left and let other cars pass by. And I went back. But that stayed in my head. It stayed in my head. And then I was asking my wife, who is wrong here? Am I the one that is wrong? Or is the one that is wrong? My wife said, well, you are right because you're already overtaken. You're already going. And he's seeing you, he accelerated to want to overtake before you. But in this way, you look at it and you look at scenarios. When I sat down with myself, I asked myself, how I acted, was it right or was it wrong? The truth is, it was wrong. For what will it take me to reverse my vehicle back? Nothing. What will it take out of me to just reverse the vehicle back? Nothing. In truth, it will take nothing. But the natural ego of, no, I am right, which is basically the point of the ideas that I'm talking about today. The natural ego of, no, I'm right. Why should I reverse? He should go back. I should not go back. That natural ego made it that I did not move back. So I stayed there. And when he passed by, when I finally succumbed and go back, and he sped past, the ego felt irritated. How dare this fellow do this? How dare he do this? And this is the danger of when you hold on to an idea. It is the danger of holding on to ideas. For at the point where you hold on to ideas, you will always see that others are wrong and you are right. The essence of an idea is to guide you, but it is not to become your identity. But when you make an idea and your identity, you start naturally becoming inimical towards people. Inimical does not mean that you're going to want to hurt a person, but inimical in the sense that anyone that is not in alignment with your idea, you don't like them. And now something now starts taking place. You now want to overimpose your idea on people. You want to do that. We want to do that. But the road was never yours. There are many people when you're driving on the path, on the road, we fight for road. This road is my road. I'm the one that is passing here first. So we fight for road that is never ours in the beginning. We fight for a space that was never yours in the beginning. A space that at the end, you will still have to let it go. So, in this case, when you hold on to God, you lose Him. When you don't hold on to Him, you lose yourself. It's basically telling you about how in our day-to-day life, we try to hold on to an idea. We try to hold on to a certain point that I am right. This is my right. It is my right. And because it is my right, you are not going to come and trample upon my right. We don't want people to trample upon our right. Now, when you truly look at it, what right do we really have? What right is even there? What right? But we want to stand our ground. At the end of standing our ground, what do we gain? We don't gain anything. On countless occasions, I have caught myself trying to fight for a road, especially when you're driving, trying to fight for a road that is never yours. A road that is just meant for you to pass through, not to claim it. And that there is many of the discomfort of our life. That there is many of the situations you will find yourself in life. Whether you are in a marital, whether you are married, you are in family, you are in anywhere that you are, you will always find yourself in these circumstances where you want to claim a right that was never for you. It was never for you, but we want to claim it because we believe it is for me. It is mine. When your spouse speaks to you, your spouse wants to impose their idea, and you also want to impose your idea. And when it is not in alignment with your own idea, we fight. We quarrel. When a friend or someone says things to you, and you say something to the person, you must understand that when we meet people, we are very selective of what we actually hear from people. We want to hear that which is in alignment with our idea. And the moment it is not in alignment with our idea, it becomes an argument. It becomes what we want to question about. What do you mean by this? Why did you say this? It becomes the driver's ego. There are a lot of people's lives that have been lost just because they don't want to leave a way for another person to pass first. And this also now falls into religion. It falls into belief of God. It falls into understanding of life. It falls into philosophy. Philosophy, or the belief of God, is like a road that is made by the government. Listen to me attentively to what I'm about to say to you, and if you truly listen with open heart, which means listen with intelligence, not with emotion, you will be able to pick out something for yourself today. Philosophy, religion, God is like a road. What's that? Okay. It's like a road that is made by the government. It is not yours. But because it is in front of you, we want to claim it. It is mine. And anyone that is not in alignment with that, our path, We fight the person. So when you see the road is to take you to a destination, which is also a beginning. But the road is not the destination. It is not. So many of us, we fight for roads that was never ours in the beginning. We fight for space on a road that is never ours, has never been ours, will never be yours. We fight so extensively for that. And this fighting is the fight of belief, the fight of idea. Of the idea that I'm right, you're wrong. Of the idea that I own the priority, you don't own the priority. Of the idea of following the rule book. What is the essence of a rule book? It is to give you guidance. It is not the law. A guidance on how to properly act. But now when you start taking that guidance as the law and you start making it an identity, that starts becoming the burden. For in that point, you don't see people as they are. You see people according to the lens of that law, according to the lens of the rule book. And in this way, we condition ourselves, we condition our love, we condition our relationship, we condition our association with people. For have you ever asked yourself, you are passing through a road and someone is also passing through that same road? Maybe you are going forward and the person is coming backward, whichever way. Maybe you're going straight and the person is coming just in front of you. And the road is a narrow road. You see, there are two things that happens in your head the moment you see someone coming in front of you. Instantly, you want to start debating, should I leave the road or the person is supposed to leave the road for me? Are you understanding? This is natural conditioning. Should I leave the road for the person or the person is supposed to leave the road for me? You're going this way. So now when you walk a bit closer to the person, you see, the more, as you are thinking, should I leave the road for the person to pass? The person is also thinking, should I leave the road for him to pass? And in this thinking of, should I leave the road or will they leave the road? When you get so close in proximity, most often we don't want to leave the road and they also don't want to leave the road. So we end up bumping into each other. And when we bump into each other, then what happens? Argument. Don't you see me? Where is your eye? Don't you see me? Don't you see I was passing first? Then it becomes an argument. It becomes a source of what? Fight. And this is our everyday life. For what will it take you if you leave the road and they pass? But you see, that ego that we hold on to, the ego of I deserve it, that ego of I deserve it, and because I deserve it, it is supposed to rightfully come to me. That ego becomes the knife at which we use in sacrificing ourselves. It becomes what? The knife at which we use in doing what? In sacrificing ourselves. And in that point, when we sacrifice ourselves, we bleed. The pain, it's not a pain, a narrative starts playing in our head. And if you really look at the different commotions that is taking place in the world right now, if you look at the different anxieties, the fight, the trouble that is taking place in the world right now, you will see that it is born from, I deserve it. It is my right. But what then is the right of a dead man anyway? It's a question to you guys. What is the right of a dead man? Does a dead man have any right? Imagine a dead man fighting for a space in the grave. I died before you, so I'm supposed to be buried in this space. You should not come closer to my space because I died first. So this space rightfully belonged to me. You died after me, so you don't need to come closer here. But that is practically what we are doing every day. Dead man fighting for a space to be buried. That is what we are actually doing. That is when the ancient teachers looks at all of this, the ancient teachers, they just laugh and say, what is this? What is this? And because they see all of this, so they send the representative, they send teachers to teach you, to civilize you, to open your eyes that is blind to true knowledge, that see how you are fighting for a space, a dead man fighting for space. Of what sense does it make? Of what use does it make? What sense is there? That is what we are all doing. Consciously, and most often it has become a natural narrative that most often we don't even know that we're doing that. It has become, what do you call it in English, an automatic response. Do you understand? An automatic drive. We're not very conscious of it. But it has become an automatic, drive that we just do it instantaneously. The point of you doing it is to be able to catch yourself when you're doing it. But most often we catch ourselves after we've done it. Then it becomes the regret. Oh, why did I do that? I should not have done that. Oh, no, I should not have done that. Then it becomes the regret. But the ancient teacher says to you, oh, dead man, what space are you fighting for? A space that was never meant for you. What idea of God are you trying to hold on to? An idea that was not even yours. But you need to hold on to that idea to continuously use it to censor yourself. The idea is not the destination. It is the road. You don't own the road. But fighting for the road means what? It is just the same way when people say, this is my land. It is my land. A lot of people have killed thousands. Many people have died because they were fighting for land. This is my land. You don't have right. What right do you have to come into my land? And this basically comes down to the point of each and every one of us. Naturally, we are territorial animals. Naturally. We are what? Territorial animals. We like territory. And in that territory, we like to keep boundary. The ancient Indians of New Zealand, I don't know what they call them, the people of New Zealand, the Aboriginal people of New Zealand. They have a saying that says, we don't own land, we are just protectors, caretakers of what God has given to us. You don't own a land, you are just a what? A caretaker. of what the infinite intelligence, God, Krishna, has given. But when you start wanting to own it, then you will start hating people. Then people becomes an enemy to you. And naturally, we are territorial. We like to keep boundaries. We don't like 85% of the irritations we get from people is because we feel that people are trying to invade our boundary. So naturally, we want to defend our boundary. Whenever you send somebody trying to jump over your boundary, we want to take the gun. We want to take the gun and poo, poo, poo. Now, boundary, it's also the boundary of intelligence. The same way when you see people talking on the internet, we keep also boundaries in our intelligence. So when someone says something to you that is of different idea, you see, we fight to keep the boundary of our ideas. Are you understanding my point? We fight to keep the boundary of our ideas. So when someone says something to you that is not of your idea or that does not resonate with your idea, instantaneously you want to fight them mentally. The ego. We want to take the gun of the ego and the spear of the eye and burn them and shoot them. So there's this war that goes on. The same thing also happens in relationship when your idea and the spouse idea, the spouse wants it like this and you want it like that. Do this and you say no, I don't want to do this. It's a war, a fight. So we're fighting that war of territory, externally and internally also. But do you know the thing? The irony is that we want to enter into other people's territory, but we don't want them to question us as to why are you entering into my territory. That is the irony. And the moment someone stops you there, hey, what are you coming into my boundary for? We get upset. Why are you telling me why am I coming into your boundary? That is the way about the ideas of God. So when you hold on to the idea of God, you want to invade into other people's space and push that your idea of God upon them. And the moment they show a little resistance, we get upset. Why are you trying to resist? Why? I want to push it upon you. So why are you trying to resist? Oh, you are not a good person. You are a bad person. You are a sinner. The reason why you are trying to resist my idea is because you are a sinner. If you are not a sinner, you will not resist my idea. The reason why you are trying to resist my idea is because you don't have knowledge. If you have knowledge, you will not resist my idea, for you will know that what I'm trying to give to you is the right idea. My idea of my understanding of God. Are you understanding? So, if you hold on to God, you lose Him. If you don't hold on to Him, you lose yourself. Thank you very much. I'm stopping here now. All good wishes fly to you. Now I'm open to your questions. Ciao.